we really only had roughly, actually, I can't speak for Barrick. Barrick's been taking a lot of cadets, but
Yeah.
counting me out, we had 4 FTOs and 8 cadets. We would statistically have to double stack them to get them all in a vehicle.
Are FTOs involved in the hiring process at all, or is in your case Captain Turner just interviewing, saying congrats, you're our cadets?
The second one. He's doing the kind of hiring in that front. I'll be honest, I have helped out with some interviews during his time of absence. If this is going where I think it's going, I have proposed and have brought up to the captains a P&T department. Because we're kind of circling into the delegation part, I think. And if that's the case, I have been advising for a P&T department. I don't have the time to, I think, run it, but I would not mind having that delegation be a weight off the shoulders of the captains. I think it would be good.
Yeah, you know, like I'm not here to make the determination of like if a P&T department is warranted, if you have the numbers to support it, the guidelines, et cetera, et cetera. However, multiple people by now have told me that shocker, FTOs are more likely to take cadets and be much more involved in the training process if they have a say in who those cadets are. I don't think that's a big revelation, though.
No, I mean, I think that's completely valid. I mean, I gave my notes over to Captain Turner on some of the people that we brought in, and I don't think they were bad options by any means. But I do think that a proper P&T department would not only one take the weight off the shoulders for the captains, but would to give that delegation to many other people who could be part of the helping process in that. I'll be honest, being able to essentially lose the weight off the shoulders of the captains to conduct academies, conduct training, conduct FTOing, and being able to kind of have that set in stone for other officers to handle, we would be, I would think that is a step in the right direction to where we need to be. Now we're where we want to be, where we need to be.
All right, well, moving on. I've always been of the firm belief you could hire until Kingdom Come. You will never have an issue with it. Training is obviously a big bottleneck at times. We just covered that, but there's also retention, either people dropping out of the training program or people dropping out once they once they make it to officer. Other shifts had said their retention rates are in the toilet. Is that consistent across shift 3?
Without a doubt, yeah.
I can't interview corpses who never are around. Why do you think people are giving up? Is it because the grass wasn't greener? Is it because of the nature of policing nowadays? Or is it because the department isn't fleshed out and they can't ride or fly a fucking helicopter? Like, why do you think people are dropping out of either the cadet program or policing in general?
I think it's a little bit of all of them. I can start from as early as my first few complaints. Before we had a lab, I had officers come up to me and say, why the fuck are we glorified senior buns note takers? Well, we have a lab now. And, I do think that a lack of, let's say equipment is definitely something. I do think that we have improved on that drastically. And I do think that has made big change. But I do think that dreadful word morale is what comes in line.
Mm-hmm.
While I believe transparency is very valuable to the police department, and while I think that honesty across the board and accountability across the board keeps us healthy, to essentially have an announcement go out of the removal of an officer with the embodiment tail of that statement being essentially, for lack of a better term, not verbatim, but was implied that you are replaceable. is not exactly a very fuzzy feeling for anybody.
You asked the hot take. Is the police department in the right on a lot of things? They just suck at optics.
That's a loaded question.
Give me a loaded answer then. I don't know what to say. Well, I'm not. You could tell me you could tell me no. This police department's doing a lot of things wrong. I mean, yeah.
No, that's fair. I think there's a lot of good in this police department. I think there's a lot of good. And I think we could be doing it better. I think we have the tools to do better. And I don't know why we are essentially, I don't want to use the word delaying. For example, you remember Richard Dark. You don't have to know this, then, if you don't want. You can keep this.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
You can keep this. What do you call it? Anonymous, if you'd like. But I have been working for the last month, try and get people hired so that we could get dispatch in our shift. The only person who has asked to be brought up, and this is the part you don't have to write down, the only person that is asked to be brought up in our shift that is willing to be active is Richard Dark. He does not want a job at the police department. He wants to be a dispatcher. Being a dispatcher, he has experience. His experience is to build that department. I have been, for the last month, crying at the fucking brick. My fingernails are bloody to get that man an interview. And for the record, he had an interview with dispatch. He had an interview with me, which was approved by Turner. And when I told that to Turner, he told me that it sounds like there might be some confliction between you and him. Maybe too close of a personality. I get it. He said, I want to conduct an interview with him as well. This has been a month and a half long process. I'd imagine since they finally, after all this time, exchanged phone numbers, I would imagine they either have something in the works or will have something in the works soon. But how many interviews does a man need? We have no one else applying for the position for this shift. How many people do we need to sit one guy down who is the only sole person looking to do this to give them a job?
I'm gonna ask an old guard style of question. To be clear, I don't necessarily think this applies to Richard Dark because he is applying for dispatch. But he would be around the office. And this is this is an answer that is you may have to crack little walls for. So feel free to tiptoe around it if you wish.
Yeah.
I believe, just based off of my interviews and my personal thoughts as well, that it is a very valid concern that if we get all these old guard cops in here, it is going to look like the failed PD of yesteryear. Now, obviously, that is loaded in itself to call it a failed PD.
Sure.
But there is going to be a lot of old faces around this department, to some extent dispatch as well, but specifically on the cop force. It's going to be the same cops on the street. It's not going to seem like we're leading the police and into the city into the next generation. On the flip side of that, it is possibly a lot easier to hire a bunch of transfers you may have known over the years who have very similar experiences, but might provide a fresh new face for the police force. Would you like to resolve the fine line dichotomy of the need for old guard, let's say, versus we don't want the same fucking shift 3 that we've had for 5 fucking years?
I don't think anybody's against more transfers, and I think the form of old guard is sort of being conveyed, or at least maybe I'm straying it, that I'm not looking for old names to, you know, arise out of the fucking shadows to save the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I am looking to say that where we are struggling, for example, FTOing,
Mm-hmm.
it is much easier to say that an officer that is greener does not have the field experience that, let's say, you or I would, right? We've seen it, we know it, we understand it, and every day we get on duty right now, it is something new that we are learning and having to tackle and deal with. It is easier for somebody with experience to be brought into that than it is to essentially have a greener face help take the reins. Now, I have nothing against greener faces. I think it's
Yeah.
great. I think it's fine. What I do have a problem with is that the vision that they had, by they, I'm talking the captains have,
Mm-hmm.
for the FTO program, is that we will have enough training to bring these green faces in as FTOs. I personally do not see that being a valid transition until probably the next 3 academies.
I guess what it comes down to is how should I word it? Hmm. Do you okay? Let's just, as far as the FTO program is concerned, since that's what you asked, do you believe that it is on the right track, and with enough time, it may not be as long or as short as people like, but with enough time, the FTO program will sort itself out, or is the attrition rate like overtaking the hiring rate on FTOs? Are you all spinning your wheels, or are you actually
I think
on the
we're
right path?
I think we're working on quantity when we could be working on quality. I think we are trying to hire people in to fill those shoes. But if the problem is retention rate and the problem is that we can't keep people on duty to do that, or even a better example, and I know you would know this.
Mm-hmm.
Some people just don't do well with multiple people in the car. It's very overwhelming. The idea of get them on the streets. Yeah, I agree. Get them on the streets. But I've had cadets come up to me and say, Flop, I cannot take in the information when there's multiple people in the car. It's a lot to handle. And I do think that some cadets learn better being one-on-one. Now, with that said, we simply do not have the manpower right now, or the power as FTOs, at least in shift 3, to individualize everybody and get everybody out at the same time. It is statistically right now just not going to happen. And I think while it is so crucial now to make sure that people are being taught at the pace that they need to be taught, so that the retention of information stays afloat, I do think that bringing in people to kind of help that 1-to-1 ratio, let's say it's 8 FTOs to 8 cadets, I think would be a lot easier than having less FTOs than we do cadets. And I think if we work on quality versus the quantity, we would essentially, for lack of a better term, foundationalize, I think, a stronger police department down the road.
Let's assume that you are 100% correct, and that you've hired too many cadets. There's a bottleneck in training because there's not enough FTOs. Granted, this would absolutely suck for some cadet. I am asking the utilitarian question about the greatest good. If it is within your power to do so as an FTO, would you cherry pick cadets that only need 1 or 2 more sessions to get to PPO, just to start getting the easy backlog out of there?
I understand what you're asking, and I don't mind giving you an answer, but what is the overall encompassing, I guess, point of the question?
if the problem is you want more like FTOs down the line, my understanding of your process is you got to get these ones to PPO first because there's a time gate before like the next generation even qualifies. So getting the qualified ones to PPO faster would in turn let you get more qualified cert people faster, a month from now or whatever.
I mean, I feel like it's only efficient to build off or I guess back off of our workload by if this person's really close, hey, that's one less person that needs to wait in queue, and we can at least start to focus, and hone in. Everybody learns at a different rate, but I do also believe in first come first serve as well.
The next question, and in a similar vein, holy shit, this is ripe for abuse, but I will propose it anyway because it is an age-old question. Uh, in your opinion, is it better to have an FTO who's not taking a cadet or taking their Nepo hire out who's a cadet and at least getting some training time because there wasn't going to be any to begin with? Optics aside, there is a net gain in training time because it's a Nepo hire.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot speak from experience with that. To be blunt,
Okay.
I've never cherry picked a cadet. I will take anyone that I can. There are people.
There's FTOs out there who do though, is why I'm asking.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, I couldn't tell you who, but
yeah,
I can speak for our shift.
Okay,
right?
fair enough.
And our shift, I don't think does the cherry pick bullshit. We know the people that have experience. We try our best to work toward that. We have people who are PPOs right now who we think, with the experience, some of the transfers who we believe on their 30-day mark when they get the review, they're probably going to be offered a position as an FTO as well. There is that.
Okay, so okay, that's fair.
To be clear, these transfers are not put in the same. They're put in the same cadet program, but they are brought in with the understanding that they're not going to need 7 sessions. They're going to need 2 or 3.
As far as the, I'm gonna call it 30-day mandatory, even though I know it's not. You all do make exceptions for like the PPO time in certain cases. Do you think 30 days as a standard is fair, or do you think the standard should be there is no standard? Your PPO, that's kind of equivalent to what we see as a solo cadet. You're ready when you're ready, and we'll know when that is, because some people may patrol once a week, some people may patrol full time.
Yeah, I've never talked about this with anybody, and I'm actually glad you're asking. I don't understand the 30-day process. I understand it's there.
I mean, tracking would be a bitch, but at face value, it should be a set number of hours, not a set number of days. And
yeah, I think set number of days is sort of silly, but I also do think, like I said, some people learn at different rates. The idea of our PPO phase, our probationary officer phase, is that they can do the job on their own while asking questions, which is great and all. But I'll be honest, I can tell you right now, my cadet phase, not that this matters, was probably about 3 to 4 months. I couldn't even tell you, but I can tell you right now, I can tell you for certain, I don't think that I'm outside of the.
You're talking about this. Actually, when were you hired? I probably should have asked that. That would be good to know for this.
No, you're good. I was hired beyond 5 years ago. It was probably about 7 years ago.
Were you part of Skeleton Crew? Sorry, that's probably.
Oh yeah. I was.
Okay.
I was part of Skeleton Crew.
Okay. That's what I meant. Yeah, if you had a cadet phase on go around. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look. Obviously, I'm a very unique individual with how I clawed my way to the top of the PD pyramid, but I was the second to last cadet of my class to become an officer. But that's that's a little bit of neither here nor there.
Yeah, but I do bring that up because it does show that point. I do think that we need to keep track of PPOs, but I also do think that we shouldn't deadline, because I think that takes away from the process of teaching. Maybe we change it, instead of 30 days, it's a 30-day minimum, and then if they need more time, that's suggested. But I don't really understand the long process.
Okay, so do you feel like the 30-day like standard is too rigid? Let's say like either way, like could be like some people need more, some people need less. We shouldn't put a time on it per se. Is that like what your TLDR thoughts on that is?
I think a 30-day minimum, and if somebody needs more time, that shouldn't be used against them, right?
Okay. What I mean, do you all have a process? Like if I'm a cadet who patrols twice a week and my 30 days comes up, is it congrats officer, or do you all like push that back?
um can you ask that again? I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. If I'm a cadet who patrols twice a week, let's just go crazy with it. I patrol 10 hours a week because I do 2 5-hour shifts a week. That's my jam. Whatever. At the end of 30 days, are you all saying like, hey, congrats, officer, or would you delay it because that person has only patrolled 40 hours in the time in 30 days?
I think we treat it as 30 days. And I think at the 30-day mark is, we do officer reviews. We sit them down, we talk to them, we look at their reports, shit like that. And I think, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, to be honest with you, I haven't done a lot of reviews. Unfortunately, my time has really been spent in this PD. I mean, I hate to say it, Malton. Do I think I'm the guy for the job? I don't know. But that commissioner position, obviously word's gotten around about it. People are like, man, people got to be comfortable with a desk job. And I've been thinking about it. I'm like, man, what the fuck? I've been doing the desk job. What do you mean?
I mean, to challenge your ego just a little bit for the purpose of this interview, given the current state of the PD and the current thing that's going on, do you think a better commissioner would be the paper pushing office job like you're describing, or do you think the commissioner should be a bass that's out there on the field, like galvanizing the troops and making people want to be out there instead of like top stacking or just quiet quitting and things like that?
To be honest, I think every captain, I think I can answer this.
Hmm.
I think every captain should be required to some degree to be in the field and should have field experience to be out there more times than they currently do now. As I do think that if, like my analogy before, the bosses have an opportunity to see their business from the ground up instead of the top down, they will see a different perspective as to how their police department is, operated outside of these walls. And I think saying that, the commissioner, I guess it doesn't really matter at that point. I think if the commissioner's overseeing what the captains are doing, and the captains are able to delegate enough to get out into the field, then at that point, the commissioner can either be another person in the field, or two, could be someone who oversees. And I'll be honest, most of the seniors are people that are out in the field, are the ones that are already overseeing.
Okay. Anything else we haven't talked about during this audit that you would like to?
I would say anonymous for me, but at the same time, I also don't have a problem being open about. Oh, hey Malton, how you doing?
Oh, sorry, I could do that now.
No, you're good.
All right.
I mean, I don't think there's any harm in me just being vocal and honest. I mean, I'm not out here looking to cover my ass. I mean, I think I'm being pretty honest. I don't think I'm holding back, and I think a lot of this comes down to just delegation. I think if we were able to open up PNT, we were able to move a lot of the weight off the shoulders of the top, we would be as top heavy. Because I do think we're a little top heavy right now.
Across the PD or in shift 3?
I would say across the PD from what I've heard, but I can only speak for my shift.
Wait, how can you be top heavy but not have enough people to take on tasks? I mean, is that just because of the raw numbers?
No, no, no. When I say top heavy, I mean when we look at the way everybody operates, the people who are least in the field are your captains, right?
Oh, I see. Okay, understood.
Yeah, and I think if we stop patrol, or if we stop policing internally, and we started having more experience from the ground up, because here's the reality: nobody understands our system as well as a cadet, because a cadet is going through the system through and fucking through, right? They're starting all the way from ground zero, and they are working their way up that ladder. Whereas our captains were appointed to these positions, they did not work themselves up the current ladder of our system. And not for nothing, I take everything that the cadets say and other officers say, because being part of the skeleton crew, I too was not a cadet. I was brought in as an officer. So I do think hearing those voices are the most crucial right now, as these people's concerns are going to be what drives our future in this police department. And I do think right now it is of the utmost importance that we take this feedback and we take it seriously, because I do think that this is what's going to guide our future.
Yeah, no, I agree completely. All right, well then, if that's it, you know, you're welcome to look. I don't fuck if I know if Judge Glory is gonna be coming around then here now. Owen, who the fuck knows? Maybe you're up late enough to speak to Jenny, but of course you're welcome to have conversations with others as well. You know, we're kind of doing all this separately to see if we come to the same conclusions with our own like independent methodologies.
I gotcha. I think I mean, do you guys asking similar questions or what's up? Watch, thank you for the 8 months. I appreciate you.
Like, we all know, like, look, we all know the problems that we've been hearing, but the idea of it is, you know, Jenny's gonna have different investigative skills than Malton, who's gonna have different investigative skills than Glory, et cetera, et cetera. So if they're doing all these independent things and they have independent methods, but 3 out of 4 of them are coming to a similar conclusion on what the problems are, it's probably likely that that's a problem, you know?
Sure, definitely.
And that's kind of like the thought behind it, is if 4 unique people doing unique things come to the same conclusion, then it's a much stronger argument than if a team of people come to one conclusion.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Definitely. Awesome. Well, if I do get a chance, I'll obviously talk to Jenny, as I think she'll be the next in line I'll probably see if I had to guess, but
Yeah, she's usually obviously like shift 1, so if you're like patrolling later, you'll probably see her.
yeah, definitely. All good.
You'd have to come around early to talk to the Honorable Judge Glory. I'm sure Willie would love to get your opinion on all this, Flop.
Do you think so? You think Willie likes me enough? He misses me, right?
I think he thinks something of you, Flop. He probably thinks something of you.
What does that mean? What do you mean, Malden?
I think he thinks about you. I don't know if it's good or bad. We haven't really talked about you that much.
Well, if you do talk about me, it's got to be good things, right?
I'm gonna go. Take a little nap up here on the roof, Flop. You have,
What the?
you have a good day. Good luck out there, Flop. Thank you for your candor.
Thanks, Malden.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah, I don't think Flop has a reason to cover his ass. I mean, I think he kind of got a lot of what he's got on the table. And I think Flop's just being honest. You know what I mean? I don't think he's really got much to hold back on. I mean, the reality of the situation is things are currently, you know, where they're at for a reason. And if we're going to talk about things to suggest, I mean, I think delegation is such a big part of it. I mean, I don't know how other people have been answering, but Flop is taking it as constructive and not taking it as like a badger. He's not badgering anybody. He's just being honest. He doesn't want this to be a badger. He just wants it to be sort of a, you know, look at it from every level. Let's be honest. It also helps that Mullen and Flop are like, I would say decently good friends. Thanks guys for the follows, by the way. I do appreciate it. How close are we to 41? Yeah, we're a couple hundred off. Oh man. Whoo! Emu with the raid. What the fuck, dude? Damn. I didn't know you were live. God, Emo, I miss you, man. I hope you've been well, brother. Thank you for the raid. Welcome, everybody. I'm Chris. I play Flop Dugong. I hope you're all doing well and you're all doing good. It's me, the fucker. I am a certified fucker. But yeah, no, I appreciate it, dude. Thank you, thank you. Welcome, everyone. Hello, hello. Yeah, I mean, shit, we're just kind of talking about the conversation. I mean, I think Flop is just being honest. I mean, he's not looking. He's not badgering the captains. That's not his goal. He's not trying to fucking say, oh my god, everyone's failing at every level, right? Because that's not true. Nothing that Flop has said is to say that anyone's doing anything wrong, but there are suggestions to say it could be better. Is there anything I need? Yeah, maybe a couple eye fucks, maybe. Flop supports the route that stole Christmas, dude. How long did it take you to come up with these fucking suggestions? These are great. These I guess we'll call them just. Oh my god. Flop, yeah, Flop believes the reason he got coal was because of Ruth. This is all Ruth's fault. Oh. Hey, Cap.
Howdy. Oh. Hi again, Turner.
Dude. Oh, man.
You escorting Cornwood around?
No, I'm not actually. I just wrapped up with Malton. He wanted to ask me some questions about the audit stuff.
Alrighty, y'all. I'll see you later.
How we going, Cornwood? How you doing, Cap?
I'm all right. How are you feeling?
Feeling better. I'm not working at 100%, but I think doing enough to be able to at least be on duty, which is good. I've done a lot of desk duty today, a lot of office work, you could say, and just doing a lot of talking and catching up because I missed yesterday, and apparently it's been a very busy 48 hours, as some have told me.
That's an understatement.
Yeah. How are you taking all of it, if you don't mind me asking?
Better than I thought.
That's good.
I got to keep trucking.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's the whole motive. That's the whole push, right? Did Captain Slacks talk to you about the Captain Roos situation regarding the investigation?
To what extent? We've talked about it, but
So to just kind of break it down, I was transparent with Captain Slacks. I let him know earlier you weren't on duty at the time. I wanted to let you know face to face so that there was no I guess side swipe, as some may call it. Barrick had come to me and told me that he was sort of helping with the investigative side of the I guess Captain Ruth investigation. And I guess
let's step off the side a little.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not going into specifics. I'm just being transparent with you.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah,
I don't want specifics.
No, that's not what I'm looking for. But essentially, Barrick did come to me and ask if I would have been willing to help out. And when I found out he was the only officer that is currently working with it, I did offer to help out. And I just wanted to let you know that I'm not looking for anything out of it. I'm not doing this for any personal gain, as I would expect you to probably know. I just wanted to let you know that I am helping Barrick with it as a sort of neutral party to just conduct the investigation. I didn't want anything negative to come out of it. I'm not trying to give myself an image. Insert defense here. I just figured I'd be transparent with you that I am going to be helping out with it.
That's fine. We're not gonna hold it against anybody for helping out with it in any way, shape, or form.
I figured not. I didn't want that to be viewed that way.
We're the ones that recommended it get looked at. So,
Okay.
I understand lawyers don't have prosecution powers. However, Mayor did say he hired some lawyers to look into it when we're the ones that went to the lawyers about it. That's interesting.
Yeah, they hired I don't know if I shouldn't say anything. Just let me know. But he did hire a.
I would say don't. I
Okay,
mean,
okay.
He stated.
Yeah.
People that people were hired.
Yeah, there is somebody who is currently helping out with it, and essentially from the police side, that would involve obvious statements and shit like that. They were more or less looking for. Have a good night, Captain.
You really gotta get some new slacks.
Oof, they're boot cut. I'm telling you, you can see it a mile away. They're tapered. They taper out like a cone. He might be going to like a disco at some point. I don't know.
I don't know what he does with those pants.
That's, I guess, that's nor here or there, I guess. But yeah, we're sort of just trying to help out from the conducting of that side. But
all right, just real quick checking. We got any additionals to back him?
if not, we can go that if you want.
Forte's here.
Let me take a look.
Watson said she was doing paperwork. Johnson is going off duty. Lawson's en route from the gas station. Who's that mobile Hawk?
Yeah, Hawk's mobile. Lawson's at the gas station. Yeah. Looks like 247s.
176-105. You able to respond to that senior bun situation? Back Lawson up.
176. I was literally about to go 42, sir. My apologies.
Copy. All right, let's go.
Yeah, let's do it.
We talk later. Either way, we didn't even have to talk later.
Yeah.
You're good. You're fine.
I know it's a lot.
I mean, like I said, we recommended it. So
I gotcha.
because at this point, things like that need to be looked at. So,
Yeah.
if we had the senior, the oversight board, the civilian oversight board, it would have gone to that.
Mhm.
I'm not sure what the holdup is about that, besides the fact that they're unable to vote. So
Yeah.
for some reason. But all right, I'll meet you at Senior Buns here. I'm gonna get running here.
Yeah, not a problem, Cap.
All right.
Do we have a Cara?
6523 senior buns.
Where's the Cara?
105's around Senior Buns.
No! Who took it?
105 EMS. Do we have any stage for Senior Buns?
Motherfucker!
Okay, EMS
Copy
105.
EMS the stage.
I
If we're
just
clear,
want
we'll roll
the
in.
goddamn. What's the scout again?
Yeah, we're stand by one.
Fuck it, I haven't driven the scout at all.
AMS repair.
Oh my Jesus Christ!
Repair, you cleared and moving.
Why is this thing jackknife so easily?
Gonna be inside senior buns behind the lobby. Behind the counter, sorry.
I'm 76.
105, 23.
Dispatch 125 en route. Senior Buns. Oh, and it's rattling. Suck my ass. I am so tired of hearing the fucking engine rattle.
Okay, 27, 23, Senior Buns.
Dispatch 125, 23, Senior Buns. Status inside?
We're actually king. You're good to clear, actually, Flop. We'll take care of it.
Copy. 125 breaking off. Show 125 back in service. Now hear me out. We would have no money, but damn is it tempting to buy that fucking... we don't actually have the money thinking about it. With taxes? Never mind. I lied. Let me see if a repair kit helps us rattle. Holy shit. God damn. How we doing, dudes? How's the morning going? I have a weird feeling Flop's gonna eat the repair cost of this fucking vehicle. Please don't fucking break. Okay, Rattle is gone. Love the RP, it's great. Yeah, it's definitely a good time. I'll get my statement on that report tomorrow. I can't be bothered tonight. I don't know what I feel like. You know what's funny? I need to go out and get like food and stuff, but I don't know what to grab anymore. I gotta make chili tomorrow. I was supposed to make chili today and I forgot. I'm gonna make some chicken chili. This way I have some, you know, some stuff. You speak real stuff? I mean, I don't know. I just speak to what my character would talk about. And I think Flop as a character is very reasonable.
Back 10-8, where am I needed?
I believe the recent call at Senior Buns is going to be code 4. Last heard from Captain Turner. You should be good to hold off on responding.
Go for it.
Canned chicken for the chili? No canned chicken. You don't sugarcoat it? I think the way that Flop sees it is at this point of the PD, if we're gonna get all of our concerns out on the table, then we should. What good does it do for the PD to essentially, you know, reserve our interest, right? If we're here for accountability, then we should be accountable on all levels.
105 from
Oh my god, I forgot.
One of the witnesses here, and then Amos gonna
I
stand
forgot. We have to look for this blood splatter from the highway. Oh no, it's probably way too late.
Dispatch, Tango 5576, Joshua.
Oh, I hope you fucking crash. Oh, I hope you crash. I hope you fucking crash. I hope you crash. He's just gonna highway blast. I fucking hate our cars, man. We can't keep up with that. Whatever. We could check for the blood, but I don't know where the person would have fallen out. It's kind of hard to say. This is a lot of freeway to cover. Dio, there's too much to presume right now. I don't really have an answer for that until we have an opportunity to essentially conduct it. There's still statements we need to figure out, you know, information, evidence, shit like that. So
Tango 27, 76 CMC 147. Moving to channel 10 to notify doctors.
576 hospital escort EMS.
dispatch 125 code 6 highway. And search for possible evidence relating to a case.
Senior Buns code 476 hospital.
Okay. Yeah, this is when we take cadets. All right, cadets, grab a flashlight. Let's fucking go. I don't see anything. I feel like I would have to have my flashlight out to see it, which does not make this any fucking easier. Bro, what the fuck? The problem with this evidence is even if we find it, it kind of makes it null and void at this point. Oh, well, that was fucking needle in a fucking haystack. And I don't have a fucking camera! Time to do things the OG way. I'm trying to think where they would have spun out or where, like, someone would fall out. Because she said she didn't know if it was Sonora Freeway. She said it was closer to the casino. And she said it was closer to Sonora. I mean, granted, there's really no way to prove that this is the blood. And even if this is the blood...
Tango 27, 24, 10-8.
Even if this is the blood, this evidence doesn't matter anymore. The timeline is so fucking far gone. We're talking 5 hours, almost 6 hours after oh, it'll come to me. This is probably about 6 hours or so after the kidnapping. This would probably not hold up in court. Well, my problem is I can't prove that that's even the right blood. Because blood just gets left everywhere. There's blood all over the fucking hospital, too. I'm going to keep looking. I don't... Like... Look at that. I don't believe that could be the blood. You know what I mean? There's too many possible samples on the highway to suspect that one could be the right one. So I don't really care about the blood. I'm just doing this because we said we were going to, but Just the fact that Floppy even found it. Do we know it's it though?
105 is gonna be at the emergency entrance.
Simple.
All right. That's 2 blood. Would be like bad faith. It's not even about bad faith. It's just when asked how long was it before you found that blood? Oh, I don't know. 6 hours. The judge is gonna go, okay, cool. Moving on with that evidence, because you know. Now, if it's Bobby Charles' blood or a name that was already brought up, that is absolutely possibly going to be worth of some kind of value. But let's turn around and let's just do another once over in the area closer to the casino where it's weak evidence. Yeah, at this point, the evidence is almost just pointless, unfortunately. But it would be interesting. What is that on the road? Hold up. Oh, would you look at that? More blood. Shocking. Please don't kill me. Your Honor, the whole highway was covered in blood. Well, the problem is that that's actually going to be what the case is going to be. There's no way to prove how fresh this blood is. We are simply doing a case and search on an area that unfortunately just is not, you know. Yo, Ricky, what's going on? Thanks so much for the 45 months. I appreciate you. I hope you're doing well. Thank you. Thank you. Plenty of hearts in chat, please. I would appreciate it. Thank you. Such a long time. We'll check closer to the casino too, but the reason I thought to check here was because she originally said Palomino Freeway, and this is closer toward Palomino Freeway, so I don't know. I figured to look closer toward Palomino Freeway kind of doesn't mean shit.
Dispatch, Alpha Triple 76 Latas 911 at the hill, sir.
Yeah, I'm excited to run the DNA and see, but I don't have high hopes. Honestly, the more DNA we find, the less valid that this becomes.
(118) responding to the latest 311.
Dispatch 11376, Popular Street.
Highway Blood Patrol, apparently.
One 1923 Baldwin Inland.
On 510.
All right. I think we're good. I think we've got just about everything that we're going to need from this. If anything's going to come back, what is this? Can I help you?
Stopped in the middle of the road.
I got my lights on. Just yield to go around. I appreciate it. Thank you.
118, 105.
Send it.
You're currently at the vault, is that correct?
10-4.
Nothing out of the ordinary.
I see the problem now. Nothing yet.
Copy. 105 is going to head up there and just have presence as well.
Different.
Why are you in the middle of the road? Don't ask questions. Don't worry about it. It's none of your business. It's okay.
One 105-23.
Want to check under the bridge, just make sure of everything. All right. Dispatch 12576 MRPD 10-7 evidence process. I am very interested to see what this DNA comes back to, though. I don't think it can be used, but I'm very interested. I just don't see it being valid, unfortunately, for court anymore. We can add it and we could talk to Xavier, but... Dispatch 125 arrival MRPD 10-7 process.
Dispatch Alpha 111 hand over P Alpha 17 3410
What do we think the verdict's gonna be? What are we thinking?
Out 1776 CMC 147.
Is there a way to copy the DNA? No. I don't want to add this to the report because it is sort of just unknown if it's even valid. All right. Nothing on the first hit.